I'll just quickly introduce myself. My name is Lokesh Gupta. I'm the founder of Producthood. I did my chemical engineering from IIT Delhi in 2005. I have been working with technology and product startups for the last 15 years. I work with top internet companies in India and Europe, and currently building Producthood, which is essentially a marketplace to help product teams and professionals to build great products, and not only just build great products, but launch them and market them well, so that product teams can get a lot of benefit, and also the professionals can learn a lot about product building products. So what we'll do is this, in the next 40 to 45 minutes, we'll do a quick mock interview case study. And so the rules of engagement are, you guys have to open a Google Doc or an Excel sheet at your end. And since there are too many people in this webinar, so I will not be have a, I will not be, it will not be possible for me to talk to you one to one. So type your queries in the chat, and once you guys are done, you can raise hand. I'll pick randomly three people, and they should be able to present their solution, and we'll review it collaboratively, and I'll try to provide the feedback. And then what I'll do is that I will share a link where you guys can share your assignment. And over the next 1 week, I will try to go through each one of them. And the best one will get to work with me for a month as a product management intern. You guys will work with me for one of the global product problem that we are working on. It's an exciting problem. So I'll just quickly check any messages that I have. Else, we'll just start with the product problem. Type yes if you're good to go. You guys can take a minute and open Google Docs quickly. One more minute, and then we'll start the problem. Just open Google Doc. Cool. So what I'll do is that let's start with the actual problem. So this is the actual problem. So and it's a hypothetical problem. So there is no really relation with the real world. But this problem is a true representation of a real world problems, and I'm sure you might find some correlation with some real world products. So the problem statement is that, and I'm a Bollywood fan. So what I've done is that I've tried to come up with this kind of a case study where Bollywood celebrities like Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, and Amir Khan, what they have done is that they formed a company. It's a hypothetical company where they want to deliver online theater workshops. And during this COVID time, nobody can go out, they cannot attend classes. So what they are trying to do is that they want to create an online theater company where people can learn about theater, about drama, and anybody who is interested in learning acting and drama can book a workshop online. This workshop can be 1 hour, it can be 2 or 3 hour long, and essentially it's a marketplace. So any senior artist can deliver workshop online using Zoom or Google Hangout, or it can be Skype also. It can be any video tool. And each artist can have multiple workshops with multiple batches. And people who want to learn about drama, about acting, they can book a slot online. And essentially, it's kind of a marketplace where both from the supply side, the artist, and from the demand side, people who want to learn about drama can coexist. They can learn from each other. So you are the first product manager in the company who will be creating this platform. And what you need to do is over the next 30 to 40 minutes is that create a minimum viable product plan for this marketplace. And the end goal is to have a high level product feature list of product features, and what kind of user workflow would be there, what would be the different users would be there in this platform, and what will be the end goals and success metrics for this product. So with this information, I would want you guys to ask any questions in the chat. And all good product managers ask a lot of questions while cracking problems. So ask me a lot of questions, and open this Google Doc or Excel sheet that you might have done already, and then plan your product. You are the first product manager, and you have to launch this product for the first time. So what are the minimum viable product features you want to have in this marketplace, both from a product perspective, both from a artist perspective, and from a end user perspective who want to attend any workshop. I hope the problem statement is clear. If you have any questions, just type your questions in the chat window, and I'll be there for the next 30 to 40 minutes to help you with your queries. And then in the last 30 minutes, we'll have a Q&A, and we'll just review top three or maybe a couple of assignments. So Bopana Rajesh is asking that you just want to get the features for MVP. It's up to you. And you have for 30 to 40 minutes prepare a good product document so that all these Bollywood celebrities are happy with you. They want to give you more and more responsibilities to build this product. For now, they want to just deliver it live. There are no recorded sessions. Yes, Abhijit is asking. Yes, the target audience is people who want to learn about acting. Venkatesh, feel free. There is no specific format. Every product manager has its own style. Whatever that you can think of, just put it on the paper, put it on the Google Doc. Take assumptions. Since it's a Bollywood celebrity who are launching this, obviously it's for Indian market, but you can always think it from a long-term perspective, from a global perspective. These are paid workshops, Mansi. As such, this is the first time they are launching. So, and these guys are millionaires, so there is no budget issues. So, technology you should think of. How do you want to go about? Assuming you have a technology in place, you have a budget in place. As such, no minimum number of audience expected. But think from a product management perspective. How would you approach this problem? Obviously, you will not go for millions of users. You will start with something small. So take assumptions. Now, one thing that I've not added in this slide is that whatever assumptions that you're taking, put it somewhere in the document. So these master classes are for struggling artists, I would say. So there can be multiple different kinds of workshops. As I mentioned on the screen also, it can be a dance, it can be drama, it can be comedy. And by the way, there's a typo here. And it can be action scenes, it can be, emotions, it can be anything. I'm not I'm not an actor. I don't know what all goes into building a different kind of workshop, but take some assumptions. We can start with one set of categories and we can gradually move into multiple categories. For now, assume that it's a workshop marketplace, no after class support. Take assumptions, Vansi. These are good features. Take assumptions. You can go for a pre-booking. The end goal is simply to have a marketplace where artists can help struggling artists or people who want to learn about theater, about drama, about acting. That's the end goal. So it can be, ultimately these Bollywood celebrities are launching this business for obviously for profit. So they want to have a big product, with millions of users. There are millions of struggling artists, from school level to senior level. But that's where your product management thought process would come. How will you start this product? And that's why the end goal is to have a minimum viable product for now. Pratiksha, it's a hypothetical problem. So I don't know if any existing competition, but take assumptions. Whatever assumptions that you are making, please add it on the sheet. I'll just quickly add it here also. So these are group workshops. These are not one-to-one. These are group workshops. But that does not limit yourself for to create a one-on-one workshop as well. That underlying product and the technology should be same. So if you're targeting both one-to-one and group, then add your assumptions and accordingly plan. Fundamentally, there is no difference between one-to-one or a group from a technology perspective, from a product perspective. So, Ruchi, selecting technology is outside the scope of product management, and obviously for this workshop, and you do not have to worry about technology. Focus on the product features, focus on the plan, and assuming you have a CTO in the company who will take care of the technology. So, Anubhav, fundamentally there is no difference. All edtech companies are doing something similar. Obviously, there is some differentiation in terms of target audience, in terms of way they deliver, but fundamentally, a Udemy or a Coursera or Udacity or Indian versions like Vedantu, Byju's, they're fundamentally doing everything same. So right now it's 4:15 local time, and we'll have another 20 minutes. And before we start discussing the actual solutions, so we'll just review a couple of your solutions. So I don't know what's your name. Your handle says PUBG Noob Official. So as such, we'll share. Maybe you can Google it, but as such, there is no fixed PRD template. But at a very high level, there are a couple of things that should go in PRD, like for example, objective, and then the list of modules, workflows between different modules, analytics, wireframes, and a couple of other things like future roadmap at a very high level, and then what all needs to be there from a user acceptance testing perspective. So Rohan just joined. Rohan, you have to work on this mock interview uh, problem statement, and I'll just change the slide to previous one so that you have some more context. You can open a Google Doc, and you can attempt at this mock problem and write a solution, and then you can later on share it on this URL. I will share this URL at the end of this chat so that you guys can create a bookmark. You don't need to work on wireframes and PRDs because obviously that's a huge work. So just list down and at a very high level how the workflow would happen. For now, at least you guys can have a free flow document. So Devendu, as such, there is no certificate. It's more of a fun workshop. Uh, but if you want a certificate and if you want to learn something more detailed, you can visit productfood.com. And there are a lot of workshops going on. You can opt for them and you'll get a certificate. So Rohan, I'm sure I think you have gone through this rules of engagement. I'll just change the slide back to the problem statement. Great. My bad, Devendu. You can take assumptions. Now, just to point out, all good product managers, they have to ask right questions, and they have to articulate their queries very well. So, obviously there can be miscommunication. So, like in this case, Dipendu asked me something, and I took it in a different way. So it's a good lesson for everybody that product managers need to ask right questions with right context so that they can get the right answer. And those who have joined a bit late, you can add all your assumptions in the document. I've also added in the slide, the last line. No, so wireframes are very important because that's how you will interact with your designers, with your engineering team to help them understand what you want from that product. And also wireframes are required so that you can discuss with different stakeholders and get on a common plane, because what you're thinking in your head may not gel well with what others think. So when you have a wireframe and you discuss with your different stakeholders, you will be able to understand that what is missing and what should be the mockup, because once you hand over the wireframes to the design team, they will create mockups out of it. So wireframes are very important. Sequential diagram, I don't know what you mean by that, but if you mean by flowcharts, then it's a strict no-no. You might use flowcharts for initial brainstorming of your own, but ultimately you need wireframes. So Zoom and Google Hangout would be the delivery platform. And what you need to work on is that you have to create the product features in such a way that ultimately all these people can link this. So basically, you have to link all these platform like Zoom, Google Hangout, or Skype in your platform in such a way that the RTs do not have to spend too much time, in working on this platform. With one click, they should be able to start their workshops. So think of ways to deep integrate these platform, but you do not have to create a video platform from scratch. That's entirely a different ballgame. Manish, I don't know what you are asking. You're saying that it's not showing properly. Can you ask your queries then? So if somebody's done, probably they can share their Google Doc. I will just open it at my end, or I can also invite them on the stage. I don't know if they'll be able to share the screen, so it's better that you guys can share the Google link, and then I will just pick that link. Yes, please share your link. Keep it open so that I have the necessary privilege. So Manish, what I can do is that I can conduct a workshop maybe next month or sometime this month around PRD as well. or you can mail me at lokesh at Parkroad, and I will send something. And so these kind of problems are very common in product management interviews, and also during your product management responsibilities, you will come up with something similar. The problem statements are pretty abstract, so you guys have to ask a lot of questions, do a lot of research, and then come up with a action plan. And this action plan will always be in a draft mode. You will have to come back to it again and again. So whatever that you will be proposing today, it may not be the final product plan, but whatever that you will do today would be a good start. In many companies, they might not ask you to work on a full-fledged product, but they might ask you to work on a very specific feature within a existing product or some hypothetical product. So, for example, I might have asked you to design, uh, I don't know, analytics feature for this entire platform. Glad you guys liked it. So every week on Saturday, probably we'll have these sessions. So every week there will be a new exciting problem across different domains on any specific part of any existing product or maybe some hypothetical product. And the best way to do these kind of problems is to do in group. So I would suggest that you should bring your friends or colleagues who are also who want to get into product management, or they are already product managers. You guys can do in a collaborative fashion where you guys can share a Google Doc and the work simultaneously. So this will serve two purposes. First, obviously you guys will learn, and the second thing is you guys will learn to work in a team, because all product management professionals work in teams. So 5 more minutes, and then you guys can start sharing your work. I will randomly pick two or three because we'll not have too much time. Venkatesh, you can share your link, Google Doc link here, and then I'll just open it. Sarjot, definitely, it's up to you guys. You bring your friends, bring your engineering and UX guys, bring your design team, bring your analytics team. So we have the first assignment from Abhishek. I'll just open it. I'll stop sharing this particular presentation. I'll just open the assignments. Sarjot, I'm not sure what you're asking. Pen and paper. So let's just wait for a couple of more assignments. Okay, got it. So Sarjot, why don't you do one thing? After this call, just take a snapshot of these pages and upload it in the Google Doc, which I will share in some time. Some of you have not given open access, so I'm just requesting it. Please keep it open so that anybody can open it, or you can give access to. Uh, Better if you keep it open so that anybody can open it. I would not have enough time to ask for permissions. So please keep it open before submitting in the chat window. Give few permissions so that anybody can view it. Also name it so that I know who has submitted it. I'm still getting assignments for which I need permissions. I will not open them right now because we are short on time. So I will open only those where I have access. Keep it open so that I can open it. Rajesh, I got a mail. Can you open it and share the link in the chat itself so that I can open it right away? And the good thing is when you open it, everybody can see each other's work, and probably what you should do is that collaboratively help each other. Wherever you feel that somebody has done something good, or somebody is missing something, just add a comment there so that others can also get benefit from it. I can see that some of you are already working as product managers, so you might be already aware with the process. You already know how to solve it, so it's a good way to help others as well. Okay, let me share my screen now. I hope you can see my screen. Let me try again. Okay, so this assignment is from Indrajit. Let me just go through it quickly and then I will start adding my comments. Case study, assumptions, live masterclass, exclusive masterclass offered by this. Okay, I hope everybody can see Indrajit's assignment. I think this is not complete. So one of the things that is required from a product manager is that your thoughts should be highly structured, and you have to start from a very wide angle, and you have to then zero in so that you cover all the small and edge cases as well. So here, what Indrajit has done is that he started with very high level goals, and the features can be free and paid, pre-recorded videos with small assignments, assignments evaluated by the team and graded accordingly. So as such, these can be added later. The idea is to have a minimum viable product feature. So if you get into the assignment evaluations and pre-recorded videos, then I think it will be a very very big product. So since the assignment was around minimum viable product, so what I feel is that these are pretty big features. So what you can do is that at a very high level, the simplest product feature can be just you can just so first of all there are three different stakeholders. One is the platform, and the other one is artists who want to give workshops, and the third stakeholder is the aspiring artists who want to attend workshops. So what I feel is that you should start from this users, which is missing. You have not categorically defined who are my users of this product, which is the fundamental thing from a product management perspective. You have to know your users, right? And then you have to start creating touch points for each kind of users. So that way I feel it's a bit messy because I'm not able to understand who is going to use what very clearly. So that's the first feedback. Let me just check other work. Let me see what Abhishek has done. So Abhishek has done, he has divided into different pages. So one is login details, second is name, contact number, Zoom, Google Hangout ID, learner, artist, tutor, cancel a type of workshop based on interest. Again, here the user is missing. So ideally, what you should have done is that first identify who are your target users. One is the aspiring artists. Second one is people who want to give workshops. And since it's a marketplace, so you have missed some very fundamental aspects of a marketplace. In a marketplace, there are two entities, buyers and sellers, and this platform is onboarding both these type of users. So there has to be some way to onboard buyers and some way to onboard sellers, right? So that information is missing. So if I have to summarize my two feedbacks, one is you have to identify the set of users. In our case, we have buyers or the aspiring artists. Second is supply side, the theater artists who are experts. Now the second feedback is that you have to have an onboard mechanism for both these kind of users. So probably you should have a landing pages where you can onboard them, register them, and then maybe some approval mechanism is required from a supply side, from an artist side. So that is missing. And the minimum viable feature, you want to have these things, right? Now this is more from a execution perspective. Once everything is done, but a lot of details are missing in the first phase itself. From a page one, page two, a lot of details are missing. So from a product management perspective, you have to start from the basics. Let me just quickly, I will answer the questions in a minute. I'll just quickly check the feedbacks. Let me check what Rajesh has done. So what Rajesh has done is that he has segregated into main website, supply side, and the demand side. I think this looks pretty good. And then what he has done is that somebody can see the list of workshops. Nice. Different kind of trainers. And what exactly is that? I'm not very sure. Date time, register button, payment page. Okay. Basic communication email for interested and paid. Okay. Recorded workshops may not be initially, but down the line, yes. From a supply side, login, ability to launch new workshops. Okay. Name of the workshop, genre, date, time, fair enough. Now, again, here in this, there are some fundamental features that are missing. You have a demand side, you have a supply side. Now, once both are onboarded onto the platform and supply side has created some workshops, now you forgot some of the basic problem statements from the slide. Every workshop has a multiple batches, and from a demand side, people can book a specific batch. So in the last three assignment that I reviewed, all these three critical information is missing. And then there is a payment cycle. There's a payment gateways and payment workflows involved, which is missing, right? And then the actual delivery part. Somebody is delivering live, like what I'm doing right now. So there is a timeline. There is a workflow around checking my batch, checking my workshop details, right? Both from the supply side as well as the demand side, that is missing. I hope you got what I'm trying to say. That a lot of details are missing in this assignment. Let me just check what somebody else has done. Let me see what Pulkit has done. Once I'm done with the review, I will share my thoughts from end to end. So this is Pulkit's assignment. Let me see what he has done. Success met, and by the way, on the last three assignments, success metrics were missing. So Pulkit has at least written one success metric, number of people who are taking classes. Now again, the success metrics are missing both from the supply side as well as from the demand side. So a takeaway is that when you are thinking of success metric, it has to be holistic from an entire product perspective. Who's our user? Aspiring new learners, people who have already attended acting classes, paired up professional actors who want to learn further, people who want to teach. Now this looks pretty much good as compared to what we have seen so far. Now Pulkit has taken some assumptions. Product needs to go live within 1 week. Okay. Content for teaching will be in the format of text, images, recorded videos, live videos. Okay. Recorded videos to be hosted privately on YouTube. Okay. Live videos will be hosted by Hangout Meet. Okay. Every session will have 5 classes. First class will be free. Now, I'm not very sure if that's a good assumption, but the features are type of skills you can learn: dance, drama, time and date, who will be taking the class, content of the session, go live button, starting in tracker, future announcement. Now, again, this is a very very less details. Again, you have to start from the top and then go deeper and deeper. Let me just quickly check what Vaibhav has done. As you can see and you can appreciate that everybody has done something, but they are also missing a lot of parts. So now Vaibhav has done is that he is starting with a product roadmap. At MVP level, we'll go with a web portal which will cater to both senior artists. Now, this is a very good assumption. Now, web portal. Nobody has so far told me that whether they want to go for a web portal or a mobile app. Now, anything is good to start with, but then you have to take some assumptions, right? And a web portal is very easy to build as compared to a mobile applications. So, starting with the assumption that you'll start with the web portal is a very good assumption. Good job, Weber, on this. Now, product features, partner facing, partner onboarding, login, create theater badge. Okay, fair enough. Partner payment, fair enough. This is now this is what I was asking for. User facing badge, catalog, select a badge, payment gateway integration, success metrics. I think you're still working on this. Probably monthly active partners, monthly active users looks good. Again, a lot of things are missing. So, for example, when you're launching a minimum viable product, now when you're onboarding a supply side, so they would want to know their payments and the payment cycle. Now, this can be manual, but at least you should have that kind of information in your at least a minimum viable plan as to how you will implement those things. Because even if you're launching and if you're collecting payments, then you have to give back to the artist, right? Last review, and then I will share my solution. This looks pretty neat. This has been shared by Indranil. Product requirement marketplace, okay, product type mobile application. Now again, you have to justify why you have taken this assumption. If you are in a actual interview, then your interview manager would really grill you around this, because if you are building a mobile application, then you need to justify why you want to go for a mobile application. Mobile applications are always they require more budget, they require more time to deliver, and also within mobile application you have to take assumption whether you want to go for an iPhone app or a Android app. So a quick feedback here. Target group, fair enough. Okay. Basic features, start page, registration, page giving features, we see the batch time. Okay. Now again, a lot of features are missing here, right? From an artist, I should be able to see what all batches I have purchased, and what if I have to reschedule, right? And similarly, from a tutor's perspective, what if what all batches I have planned over the next say 1 week or 1 month, and then what if I have to cancel a batch? How the refund policy would work. So you have to at least understand and put all your thoughts together, and then uh, create a smaller subset of the entire product features that you've thought of. Right. So I've already reviewed, I think, 4 or 5. What you can do is that you can share your work in the shared folder. I will share the link. But before that, we have 15 minutes. I will just share my thoughts around it. So let me share my screen. And then you guys can ask all your questions around why I have, thought of this MVP. Cool. So I think you can see my screen now. So see, the problem statement was that you want to build this marketplace, right? And each marketplace has two sides: supply side and the demand side. And when I say that from a supply side, anybody can create workshops. They can each workshop can have multiple batches, right? So and ultimately from a demand side, anybody can book those batches. So from a 30,000 feet, you need to have a different modules into your mind. First, you need to really understand who are your users. So you have three kind of people. One is artists who are coming on board from a supply side. Next is learners who want to learn from these artists from a demand side. And then there's a third very strong stakeholder which everybody has missed. It's the platform itself. So now when I say platform, there are like admins, there are like all sorts of support personnel, and and various other marketing and sales guys who will be there on this platform. Now you don't have to start from all the personnel, but at least from a support, from an admin perspective, you also have to think, right? When you are launching an MVP product, it's not that suddenly you will make this website live, and all these artists and learners will interact on their own, and platform is not required from a support perspective, right? So everybody, whosoever have shared their assignments and have reviewed, that critical information was missing. And similarly, when you're thinking a bit next level, from each stakeholder side, you have to go deeper and deeper. So let's start with supply side, the artist. Now anybody who wants to present workshop, now they need to be onboarded. So there needs to be an onboarding flow, right? So there has to be some landing page where these artists can fill up their information, and they need to be onboarded, like they need to be registered on this platform. Now this can be self-serve initially, but somebody has to collect the information. So it can be a very simple Google form, or it can be a simple landing page where they can just type in their details, name, email, mobile number, their experience, and what kind of workshop they want to conduct, and what kind of pricing they want to have. A very minimal set of features which we need to information that we need to take from them. Once we have taken that information, probably we can save it in the database, and somebody from our uh, operations team can just call them and tell them that you have been selected on this platform from a supply side, and then you can just share them their login and password. So that can be a minimum viable feature to start with. Down the line, what you can do is that you can have an automated workflow where all these people will see the status of their application, and they will be able to check whether they are accepted or rejected. And if they accepted, they would get their login email, login password in their email, and they can seamlessly log in, right? So everything will be automated. But in the first phase, in the minimum viable product plan, everything can be manual. But then you need to plan from a product perspective, right? So now moving next, once they are onboarded, now they need to create their workshops. So there has to be a way to add workshop with all the details, like the name of the workshop, the timing, and what are the key takeaways, who are the key audience, and then what is the pricing. Once that workshop is added, then what you need to do is you need to create multiple batches, right? It has been specifically mentioned in the slide that each workshop can have multiple batches, right? So any artist can have 3 batches of the same workshop in a week. So there has to be one workflow where they need to create batches. Now, coming from an MVP or coming from a lean methodology, what also you can do is that you can take all this information offline over phone, and then from behind the scene you can create these different landing pages for each workshop and different batches. Now that's more from a technology perspective and more from an implementation perspective. But from a product perspective, you need to have once the supply side is onboarded, they should be able to create workshops, they should be able to create batches, right? And then somebody should be able to buy it. So now let's move to the demand side, and we'll come back to the supply side in a bit's time. But at least for now, things are sorted from the supply side. Now next, come to the demand side. You should be able to onboard a learner. So again, there would be a landing page where they can register. Initially it can be again in some rudimentary way, but it can also be automated in the first plan. That's more debatable, but that kind of information should be reflected in your assignments. So somebody has to log in, register, and then they should be able to see the list of batches, workshops, and they should be able to search. So search is very important. I think it was missing in most of the assignments. So they should be able to search. They should be able to select any workshop. They should be able to select a batch, and then they have to buy it. Right? They have to book the tickets. So there would be a payment workflow. Some of you mentioned payment workflows, but not in detail. So you guys have to mention that how the payment workflow would happen. Now, as a product manager, you also have to capture some edge cases, like what if the payment fails? What if the batch is full, right? What if batch is not available where this person wants to connect on weekend, but the weekend batch is not available, right? So these are some edge cases which can be done in the MVP plan also to manually, right? For example, you can ask for a request for a specific batch, and that can be done over email also, or there can be a form, right? So but as a product manager, you have to at least think of all these scenarios. And I totally understand that time is was limited, but if you have not thought of, uh, that is also okay. But after this workshop, probably you should again think about all these scenarios and come up with a better PRD, right? Now moving on, so once somebody has selected a workshop, selected a batch, paid for it, now that's where the next engagement would start, right? So at the D day, at the time of batch, or at least prior to that, the demand side should be able to get some reminders, and even the supply side should get some reminders that somebody has purchased, and they are your batch would start on this date. So some kind of a email notifications reminder should also be planned. And depending upon the MVP bandwidth that you have, you can have a more automated detailed one, or you can send it manually also. Somebody should be there from the support side to send manual reminders both to the artist as well as learners, right? But this information was also missing. Similarly, what if cancellations are there? What if I want to get a refund? Right? So that information was also missing. But as a product manager, you have to preempt all these scenarios, because ultimately it's a marketplace. You have to scale it. You have to serve your customers, and your customers are both supply side as well as the demand side, right? So the refund, cancellation, and then payments to the artist, and what would be the platform fee? I don't know if you've thought of, but the platform should also have a fee, convenience fee, right? So that platform can support on its own. Nobody's doing a charity, right? All these Bollywood celebrities are starting this company because they want to make money out of it. So if all the money is taken by the artist, then how would they build a business around it? So that kind of information, I have not mentioned it, but it's pretty obvious that as a product manager, you have to think of the commissions of the platform, and then how the payment would be given to the artist, right? And then once the batch is complete, the delivery happens. What happens after that? How the feedback mechanism would work? How the artist would know that the batch was good, people liked it, or if there is a negative feedback. Similarly, how the learners can give the feedback back to the artist, right? So that is also required. Now this can be manual initially, where you can just send a mail that thank you for attending this batch, and we would like to have your feedback. Now this can be completely manual, where your support team is sending these mails, but eventually this can be automated as well. But the whole idea is that as a product manager, you have to think of all these scenarios, right? And then there are a couple of other things, like for example, how the overall this product would be delivered. Is it through website? Is it through mobile application? Is it through Android app, or is it through iPhone? Right? See, gamification, what Sarabjot has mentioned, it's a very very long call. Maybe after a couple of months, or maybe 1 year 2 year down the line, when you have some traction, then you would think of gamification. But from an MVP perspective, I don't think gamification is a good strategy, right? But a couple of core things, like platform, web, mobile application, iPhone or Android, and then what geography you have to launch. Some of you asked these questions, but this is also a very good question as to where do you want to launch it. You want to launch it in a specific geography or a specific city, and what kind of tools you will use. Zoom, Google Hangout, how will you integrate? So I did not see any integration strategy, right? Maybe in the initial phase, what you can do is that you can just mention that, or you can collect the information of Zoom or Google Hangout handle of artist, and put it in the database and show it to the learners. But down the line, it can be seamless. So some integration strategy is also required. Similarly, there are a couple of other things, like for example, even in the website, what more features you want to have, like some privacy policy, some contact us page. That some hygiene is also required. So you have to think around those lines as well. Pulkit is asking, at what point do you involve tech team to anticipate the timeline for the execution? Well, at least till the time you have thought of MVP well, you have discussed with your business teams, you have discussed with your strategy team, you have discussed with your design team, and once you have a clarity that your requirement is finalized, and you have done some wireframing, some early designs, then only you should start talking to engineering team. But again, it depends upon company to company. Sometimes engineering and the product start from the day one together, especially if it's a highly technical product, like for example, you're working in Google or Amazon, where these product managers need to have be technical, and also these product managers cannot work without engineering team. So it all depends upon company to company. But I think once you're done with at least the basic research, it's a good idea to include engineering from there on. Another question is, let's say we need to go live within 2 weeks, we'll probably have to cut down scope. Absolutely. But see, from a product management perspective, the idea is that you need to have a very broad picture, right? And then you will come back to the reality that you have 2 weeks, or we'll just cut down these things. At least you should have a line item as to what you need to have over a 6 month period, and then you will just cut down. So as I mentioned, these notifications can be done manually instead of in an automated fashion. Similarly, the onboarding of these artists can be done manually, right? You do not need a automated fashion where somebody will fill a form and automatically it will be approved, or it will go through a manual some kind of workflow, and then all the notifications would be automated. Now this is a big task, right? You do not want to get into that that kind of a zone, at least for now. You want to just quickly test whether this works or not, right? So in general, you need to worry, but for the sake of this workshop, obviously these Bollywood celebrities know that what they're doing. So obviously, for this workshop, you do not need to go through why we need it. But yeah, if you're starting your own company or starting from scratch, or you are the early product manager of a early stage startup, probably you need to also do some customer development and understand why you are doing this and what are the pain points of your customers. A good product manager would always consider the technology cost constraints while defining MVP, and this means that you also need to understand technology. Since I come from a technology background, so I know what are the challenges around automating email notifications or automating the entire supply side onboarding or demand side onboarding. But having said that, and that's why if you do not have enough technical chops, then what you can do is that you can always work with your engineering team, or you can learn online. You will pick some technology skills so that you become aware of what are the cost of building all the solutions, right? And then one thing that I've missed so far is the one thing that I've missed is that the analytics part. So you have to also think of the analytics, because whatever that you're building, you need to get the feedback directly, indirectly. So if you have analytics in place, you will be able to understand how many people are coming into the system, and track how many are like exiting from the system, how many have at least gone through the payment page, but they have stopped paying, or they have just moved out of the payment workflow. So there are n number of workflows where you can have analytics in place, and some of the success metrics can be like number of artists onboarded, or number of bookings done on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, and there can be one or two north star metric for this product. And one thing can be from a marketplace perspective, like some of the metrics can be from the supply side, some of the metrics can be from the demand side, and then one thing can be at a business level, like the revenue or the GMV. So all e-commerce companies, all marketplace companies have GMVs, gross merchandising value. So in this case also, probably as a product manager, you can define that how many workshop you have sold, right? So how much revenue you have collected at an aggregate level. That can also be one of the success metric for you, and it will grow with time. With time your product matures, you have more and more success metrics coming into the system. Now, somebody is asking a couple of questions. Let me just go through them one by one. So I will not be sharing an assignment. I've not done it. Whatever that I've shared for now, the recordings would be available. So you guys can again go back to the assignment and review others' assignments to get a holistic view of how product management problems are tackled. They are highly abstract. So what people are looking for is the thought process. They are not looking for a final solution. And in fact, I've taken a lot of assumptions. I've just tried to share you how I think while attempting this problem. So as such, there is no right and wrong answer. What you need to understand is the product management mindset, and how you tackle the solution. You have to come from a 30,000 feet and then go down to the zero level, come up with all the edge cases and scenarios, and then you have to take into account technology. You have to take into account business. You have to take into account customers. So there are a lot of variables that you need to take into account while attempting any product problem. Venkatesh is saying, I'm just a student, did this first time, your review is important. This is for everyone. His link. Venkatesh, why don't you upload it in the folder? I will share the URL very soon. Chandra is asking, the reason I asked that question, I come from a technology background and now as a PM for a couple of years, sometimes this background adds bias. Okay, I think it's a very good question, and all good product managers who have been a technologist in their previous life, I think they face a challenge where to draw a line, and the sooner you understand that where you have to draw the line, I think better you will be better off. So while you have the technology background, you should let your engineering team take care of the how part, how they will deliver it, and you can always suggest your thoughts. You can always influence them, but you cannot dictate the terms. So while you have to focus on the what part and the why part, let the engineering team tackle the how part. And the sooner you start implementing this, the better it will be for you and the engineering team. Otherwise there will always be issues between the product team and the engineering team, right? So I come from a technology background, so I never try to push things to the technology team. I let them drive things, but I'm always the first one to point out things and at least share my thoughts, ask a lot of questions, and let them decide. Right. So that's the way going forward. Sarjot is asking SaaS tool for acting class company. I don't know, and it's a good idea. Think about it, and probably you can share your thoughts later. So, guys, we are almost at the end of this workshop. I hope you got a lot of benefits. I suggest that you share your work with me. I'll just quickly share you the folder link. Upload this in this folder. It has public access. Please bookmark this and upload your assignment. I will try to go through it. The best one will get a chance to work with me for a month. We are working on a global some global interesting problems around product development, and essentially we're building a marketplace. So some of your thoughts from this assignment will implement in product as well. So rest assured that your inputs would be highly valuable to our company as well. Plus, you will get a lot of good insights on product management and working with our team. So do add your. I've already added. Here's the link again. So do take time. I hope you got a lot of points on how to attempt this problem. Now work it out again, and then we can discuss one on one later also. Now every week at 4 p.m. we'll do a similar exercise. This time it was slightly a bigger problem, but going forward we'll have a micro problems, maybe one specific part of the problem, or probably around analytics, around product roadmap, around design. So we'll just try to innovate around this. So I would request that share it with your friends and bring your friends along so that you guys can work as a team. And yeah, if you have any feedback, do send your feedback to Lokesh at Product Code. I would appreciate if you can share your feedback and if you find value or not. So I will just figure out how we have to do this. I have your email IDs. We'll just share the process. Most probably you do not have to register. I will share the link, but I'll just figure out. There is no deadline as such. The sooner you do, better for you. And we're already working on a marketplace problem. So if you can share it, I'll be able to find the right person to onboard on my team. And obviously, I will share some feedback to you guys as well. No deadline. So even if you send me after 6 months, as soon as I have time, I will share my feedback. One request: share your feedback, whether you like it or not, and this will really help us design the entire this experience of mock interviews, so that we can help product community and ultimately help product companies. Because a lot of product companies face these kind of problems, and through these workshops, we want to help them as well. So you know my email ID. My email ID is lokesh@productfood.com. Please share your bricks, bouquets, whatever on this, and it will really help me and our company to create more tailored experience for your learnings.